You can write a complete working computer program in just one single line of code. Seriously.
So this right here, this is it. That single line of text is a complete working Python program. I know it looks super simple, almost like plain English, right? But it's actually a very precise instruction that your computer knows exactly how to follow. And when you run that program, this is what you get. The text, "Hello World," just pops up on your screen. It's that simple. You give the computer an instruction and it gives you a result. It's a direct and honestly a really powerful process when you think about it.
Okay, so we've seen what it does, but how does it do it? What does all of this actually mean? To really get programming, you've got to understand the why behind it. So let's do that. Let's break this single line down piece by piece.
All right, first up, the anatomy of the command itself.
So that first word, print, that's what we call a function. Now, a function is basically like a reusable command or a built-in skill that Python already knows how to do. The print function has one very specific job. You give it something and it displays that thing on the screen. That's it. It's one of the first and most important tools you'll ever use.
Okay, so what are we giving to our print function? We're handing it this, "Hello World." Now, in the world of programming, any piece of text like this is called a string. And those quotation marks, they are super important. They're basically telling Python, hey, everything inside here is just text. Don't try to read it as a command, just treat it as, well, a string of characters. So let's put it all together. The flow is really simple. First, you have the command, which is our print function. Second, you give it some input, in this case the string, "Hello World." And third, you get the output. That text shows up on the screen. Command, input, output. Seriously, this simple pattern is the core idea behind so many computer programs.
But wait a second. How does the computer, which really only understands ones and zeros, understand a word like print? Well, the short answer is it doesn't. Not directly, anyway. There's a really important middleman that does all the translation work for us. Yeah, think about it. On one side, you've got our nice, human-friendly Python code. But on the other side, you have what the computer's brain, its processor, actually gets. Just a massive stream of ones and zeros. That's called machine code. So to make any of this work, we have to find a way to bridge that huge language gap.
And that bridge, that translator, is called the Python interpreter. It's a special program that's always running in the background. Its job is to read your Python code one line at a time, translate it into that machine code the computer understands, and then hand those instructions over to the processor to actually execute. Without the interpreter, our Python code would just be a plain old text file that does absolutely nothing.
Okay, so we've got our code and we know how it gets translated. Now, for the fun part, let's actually run it. There are two main ways you can do this. The first way is called interactive mode. Think of this like having a live chat with the Python interpreter. It's awesome for quick tests and just messing around. The other way is by using script files. This is more like writing a full letter or a speech. You write out all your instructions, save them in a file, and then tell the interpreter to run the whole thing at once. This is how you build bigger, more permanent programs. So to get into that interactive mode, you'd open up your computer's terminal or command prompt, just type Python and press enter. You'll see these three little arrows pop up. That double triple dash prompt is the interpreter's way of saying, okay, I'm listening. What do you want me to do? This whole setup is often called the REPL, which stands for read, evaluate, print, loop. It reads your command, evaluates it, prints the result, and then loops right back to the start, waiting for your next instruction. It's the perfect little sandbox for trying things out. Now for the other method, running a script file. This is how you'll do things most of the time. You just open any simple text editor, like Notepad or anything similar, type your code, and then, and this is the most important part, you save the file with a .py at the end. That turns it into a Python script. Then, back in your terminal, you just tell the Python interpreter to run that specific file, and it'll execute every command inside from top to bottom. This is how pretty much all real-world software is run. So, there you have it. We started with just one line of code, and now we've unpacked the whole process behind it. Let's do a quick recap of what we've covered. You've actually learned a ton. You now know how to give the computer a command using a function. You know how to represent text using a string. You get why the interpreter is so crucial. It's our translator. And you know the two main ways to actually run your code, the interactive REPL and script files. I'm not kidding. These are the absolute foundational building blocks for everything else you'll do in Python. You know, if you strip away all the jargon, programming is really just about this, learning the computer's commands, and then telling it what you want it to do. It's not some magic that requires you to be a math genius. It's about learning a language of commands and putting them together to make things happen. And hey, you've already learned your first one. Think about it. You just talked to a computer, and it understood you. You've just opened a door to a world of possibilities. So the real question isn't if you can code, it's what are you going to ask the computer to do for you next?